Welcome to the Vigorous Q&A. I'm Coach Steve, here to answer all your bodybuilding related questions. Today's question is from Shay here. What's your take on doing fasting to shed body fat when you are single digits during competition prep? Can you lose more muscle when you compare to a traditional calorie deficit diet? All right. Yes, you can do it, but you need a decent amount of muscle maturity and a decent amount of androgens to support the muscle mass that you've built. Because when you fast, you're digging into all the glycogen stores, all the body fat stores. But if you're in a contest prep, you're probably already glycogen depleted, and your body fat levels are going to be, a little bit. So when you're 6% body fat and your glycogen levels are depleted, you might dig a little bit into the muscle cell. You'll start to burn a little bit of muscle glycogen. It depends on your activity levels. It's pretty safe to say we're not going to train on the days you're fasting. You're just going to rest. So what you can do, and what I've done with some of the clients that need to make a weight class, 1 week out, you're a little bit too heavy. You're peeled. You're peeled. You have a little bit of body fat in your lower back, your glutes. Okay, cool. You're already glycogen depleted. You're going to stop eating. You're going to fast 1 day, 2 days, maybe 3 days. Now your body has eaten away all the last little bit of body fat. So you're peeled, shredded. You look like those World Championships backstage weigh-in pictures. That's where we were. So, that's the scenario you find yourself in. Completely sucked out, drained, striations everywhere. You lost the last little bit of body fat. You made weight. Now you can eat into the show again and grow, basically. It's a careful manipulation because the body tends to rebound. You need a good coach to guide you through that process. But if you want to do fasting maybe once every day throughout your prep, or once a week for 1 day throughout prep, you can do it. But I would do that the day after your refeed, just to get you back into that dieting phase. So Sunday, let's say, for example, you refeed on a couple hundred grams of carbs, maybe a cheat meal on top. The day after, you fast. You don't train. You train on the cheat day, and the next day, you just let your body rest. Rest from food and rest from training. Your PED take is still going to be stable for blood levels and mitigating side effects that way. You keep the anabolism going. 1 day per week, maximum. I wouldn't do 2 days, because you still need to train, you still need to maintain that muscle mass, and you still need to stimulate that muscle mass to stay, cosmetically pleasing, strong, dense, hard, etc., etc., etc. When you have a decent amount of muscle mass, you can do the 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of fasting before the competition, and you shouldn't really lose muscle size, especially if you're on heavy androgens like halotestin, for example, or superdrol or anadrol. To maintain the fullness, you shouldn't really lose much, if any, muscle mass. But I wouldn't do it during prep too often. I've done it a couple times where I did like 5 days of fasting, but my body weight was still relatively high. It was not single digits, and it was definitely not pre-contest level. When you're 4% body fat, and you really have to use, like an hourglass or looking glass to find where the body fat is located. So in those cases, I would really, really limit it. But, in the off season, you can definitely do it for like 5-6 days straight, because your body fat is higher, and you need a little bit of a buffer of glycogen and body fat in order to make the fast duration longer. So when you have low body fat, 1 day, maybe 2 days, and you can extend it to 3 days, given you're on decent androgens and you have good muscle maturity. Because the more muscle maturity you have, the more stubborn it is to leave your body, because it's been trained under a lot of anger and fuel and time under tension and heavy weights, and it's been there for a while. It's not going to go away in a calorie deficit of 100%, because that's what fasting is, right? You have a calorie deficit of 100%. Intermittent fasting is only good for holiday. And that's how I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.